Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? Let me see how we're. Somebody give me a sound check. Let me know if you hear me okay. I'm going to share my screen. How's everybody doing? Good. Juan, Miguel. Good morning, guys. Hey, Miguel. Did you say you were? Good morning, Connie. Did you say you were also? Let me look at your post here. I was trying to see your picture here. So what did you have? You had a MACD on here as well that you were using. So it sounds like you're using MACD and like what is on that screen of yours? You have so many indicators. You have zip. Wow, you have everything. Zip, MACD, and that. Okay, got it. Got it. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Opening trade rotation, guys. NAS definitely looking strong. I traded a little bit. Let me show you. I traded a little bit pre-market. Where is it over here? I don't know if I can get it. If I can get it big for you. Yeah, this was just the one trade I did. There was actually probably a second trade here. I just was too busy with something else to take it. But I got to tell you, man, I don't know about you guys. I'm just absolutely loving the new indicator, and it is so good on so many things aside from just indices. So first of all, I hope everybody has the new version, right? And is Karen in the room? Let me see if Karen's in the room. Karen, are you in the room? Let me see where is it? Where everybody's at? Blah 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 blah. Oh, Karen's here. Yeah. So Karen, I'm gonna ask the programmer to add the trend break indicator. You know, the signal for you, which he'll be able to do probably within a day. But tell me you guys don't love this new look. It is so much easier to instantaneously see the higher trending breakouts and trade them essentially during the high liquidity times. I mean, one of the most interesting things that you can see is that, especially as we're coming into high liquidity. Let me just kind of pull out for this just a little bit. So this is NAS. NAS obviously makes a big move into the European Open. A little bit consolidation here. Then you start seeing higher reds. Basically, the red zones are a little higher. So the breakouts, which is exactly where I got long here, give you very good signals. One good signal for 5 or 10, another good signal for 5 or 10 before the open. Now we're having the natural, we've had a big run up into the open, so natural rotation. And basically now it's kind of setting up, we're basically opening up negative bid in the first half hour, which means we're going to be looking for a positive reversal to the trade as our opening range trade happens. So we'll, this obviously is going to correct for 30, 40, 50 points, maybe even break the 14,000, might even do that. And then we'll play it the other way. But the clarity of signals here is just so beautiful, not only in NAS but in the Dow as well. I mean, look at the Dow. The Dow had a very strong run up from around 5 o'clock in the morning New York, right? Then we have the sell-off, and you can see again here, if as you're trading the sell-off, that the reds are essentially higher lows, right? The red zones are a little bit higher lows. So you have confidence here coming in onto this trade for, depending on how you want to trade it, whether you want to trade it for 10 points or 20 points, you certainly had room to to trade this well. Even if you were sort of opening up to Europe, and you had earlier you had kind of Dow is a very quiet trade really until about 6 o'clock in the morning, when it finally starts to pick up a little pace here, unless you have something very unusual going on. Zoom should work on everything. What's going on, Peter? You're not seeing anything? You're not seeing, everybody's seeing my screen, right? You guys should be seeing my screen. I'm sharing my screen. Maha, you seeing my screen, right? Everybody's good? Oh, yeah, if you're for Apple, you have to download what's called a DMG file. So for Zoom, you got to download a special. Zoom is an application on both the Mac and the PC, so you have to download the application, run it, so on and so forth. So you can just Google their website and you'll get it. But anyways, so we have European opening. You can really see a very, very nice clean. It's not super obvious here because the red is actually just a little bit lower than the prior red. So it's not as clear as trade straight up. But here you clearly see that it stops a little bit lower than the trade here. Has a secondary higher low here. It just gives you lots of confidence to trade everything up. So kind of a really, really cool, easy looking indicator. Hang on a second, guys. Sure. Okay. So anyways, that looked good. Let's see. I don't even know how the Russell looks. I haven't looked at the Russell today. Russell looks a little negative to the open. Again, Russell is also, look at the Russell. Look at the beautiful higher lows in the Russell. The bias to the upside. Now, I got to tell you, all of this visualization is so much more powerful when you have the fundamental data at your back, right? So think about what happened. Think about what happened last night. We had blowout numbers by Apple. Those of you who if you read my piece on 60 Second, I said there's only two things the market wanted out of Apple: a buyback and a dividend increase. And they got both, and they got blowout numbers. So you have just enormous amount of a very, very positive feeling. And then after that, Biden had a very strong presentation last night in front of Congress. He wants to pump a lot of money. However much money he's going to get is an open question, but it's not going to be zero. That's also very positive for further stimulus. So it's all kind of like go economy. So when you have that beautiful background, and then you kind of overlay the technical structure, it becomes very easy to find low risk entry points within technical structure because you're already positive bias. All you got to do is just find the places where you're getting higher lows, and you have really, really strong proposition that those things are going to work for you, right? So it's just really, really cool to overlay this, and this is going to go the same way on currencies as well, right? You kind of have the same flow on currencies. Like for example, let's take a look at dollar yen. Super positive because we have yields, rising, so on and so forth, right? So here, if we have yields rising into the U.S. session, look at this trade. Red, higher low red over here, right? And straight up move. Now, the one thing I sort of wanted to caution everybody about the visual stuff, and this is where I think the visual is so much more valuable than the quantitative, is that you cannot let the perfect be the enemy of the good. When you are looking at the visual, and I'm just kind of realizing I actually could quantitatively state what I'm thinking about. I didn't even realize I could do this because of this really, really cool illustration. But here's my initial point is, you look at this, and basically, although I guess you're right. I guess even here, the low here is lower than this low. So you still have a marginally higher low, but a very, very tiny low. If you're just relying on quantitative measurements, the lowest low against the lowest low there, you may not get a clear picture, but visually you can clearly see that this is a higher low than this low, right? Significantly. And here's where we could actually weave the visual and the fundamental, because if we don't look at the actual price quote, so forget the low on a price basis. Let's use the lowest low of the average, of the moving average, because this gives us a much truer blended value of just how much selling pressure there is, right? You see what I'm saying? So the lowest, the average low is 108.86, and here it's 108.89. Very clearly, 3 pips to the good. That just creates a much, stronger incentive to get long this thing. You see what I'm saying? You see how like we can look at the visualization here and then actually extract a much better quantitative measure of how we want to pivot off the thing. That's kind of the beauty of visualizing data, which I absolutely love as a trade. Anyways, there was definitely good trades to take in the overnight trade in FX. Let me just go back to the euro. So I did not do a lot of algo trades. I kind of just did them manually because I sort of cheated. Well, I didn't cheat. I just, I didn't preset the algo simply because one of the things that you want to do is you don't want to, remember, algos are absolutely unnuanced, right? They have zero understanding of news. So they're all, if you program them to just take long trades on the European Open without understanding that there's news flow and everything else that can be significantly different to how you want to trade it, you're going to blow it up. So remember I said they're good when there's no significant news flow. When there's significant news flow, you really want to manage the algo properly. Last night, because of the FOMC decision, because of the strong Apple, and then we had today, German employment data. All of those things were like significant enough risks that you didn't really want to run the algo blind. And that's the word I'm looking for. Algos run blind, right? And you really don't want to run algos blind. So I actually waited because had I waited for the 2 o'clock, if I just programmed it to take a trade at 2 o'clock, actually, I guess maybe I would have missed the 2 o'clock trade because it took it early, but it would have been a ridiculous trade to take because you had all this European data coming out. So actually, I just waited. And remember, I said to you, even if there's a negative bias, even if there's a negative trend, there's always an opportunity to find a positive trade, a home team trade sometime during this session. So I just simply waited, and I actually went long, not here. I was a little bit late. I went long this one. I went long on this one, on this trade around 5%. I was late. I should have actually come in here. But I think what I was actually waiting for, and this is, let me tell you why I was late. I was actually waiting for a confirmation of a higher low on the red, right? So even though this trade would have worked and it was earlier, this trade actually technically was more sound because you clearly see that we're bottoming out. The average here is lower than the average here, therefore a little bit more confidence. So I came in at 19. I'm just, I'm looking for 5. It made 5. It made much more than 5. I'll let the whole thing run. So the euro worked to the upside. Cable was a little different. Cable didn't have any UK news, and cable was very, very choppy today. So I think what I did with cable. Oh, I think I traded. I traded this cable here at 331, which was just. I mean, remember, I'm trading it for 5 points. Just barely made my 5 points, and that was it. That was it to the trade. But if I was sort of more intelligent and said, okay, I'm going to trade European after all the European news is done around 4 o'clock, then the proper cable trade would have probably been around here. Now this, I would have slipped a little bit against me. I would have had like 10 points against me on this one. I think, although let me see, was it 52 to? No, I think I would have actually made the 5 points just on this move. But the reason why this would have been a better trade than anything earlier is because here you have a clear. Let me just get this big so you guys can really, really see this. You have a clear definitive higher red. It's a tiny little red, doesn't have to be big, it's a tiny little red, but this tiny little red is 46. This one is, this is the average. And this average is 34.4. So, you know, the variance here is clearly better. So this entry over here is a better entry, even though you get a little bit of a slippage here. You know, even let's say you couldn't capitalize on this profit, you still had recovery and kind of a move, you know, move straight up, just enough to make it move. The two pairs that did really well and continue to just simply outperform, and that's basically yen strength. I mean, it's just yen strength, right? Is euro yen. I mean, euro yen at the European Open was just super easy. Like, you coming in here, you could have taken, you know, this trade over here, because clearly this red is higher than that red. Straight up would have been just actually a great trade, you know, to the upside as you go. Even over here, I think I actually took the second euro yen, because this was a, if you pull back on your, look at it. I mean, look how clean this is. Look how clean this is. And that's the, you know, that's the beauty of like, I love this indicator, because it strips away all the, and first of all, when you're looking at price action, it's incredibly noisy, right? It's your eye can't really focus on where the sell-offs are and where the uptakes are. And here, by shading the whole area, it becomes so clear where the true pattern of price is, right? That you could just John is asking me, tell me it's yen weak. Yeah, it's yen weakness. It's definitely yen weakness. I'm sorry, what exactly are you asking me, John? So I mean, euro yen strength is a function of very much of yen weakness, but also just at the end of it, a little bit more euro strength. You know, so you know, so that worked. And even the pound yen, pound was kind of very choppy today. But you know, pound yen had a very big run at the beginning of European session, and I came in over here on this one, and that was a super easy trade here. You know, just boom, and you could have come in here at the 9 o'clock hour with a higher high, you know, higher low, and you know, you would have had money. There's just so many beautiful opportunities for 5-10 point trades at these optimal times. You know, these optimal structures, especially. Oh, did I say yen strength? I meant euro. I'm sorry. It's always the opposite of what I mean, because when I'm saying euro yen strength, I mean yen weakness, right? That's what I mean. Yen weakness. So sorry. I mean, I know it's confusing. Yeah, you know, I haven't even looked at CAD yen, but I'm sure something. Hey, Peter, message me after the show, and we'll do a screen share, because I don't know what you're doing on your. I can't answer your question because it's very probably unique to your setup in your desktop. So the only way I can fix the EA stuff is if I no, it's okay. Just message me after the show, and we'll do a screen share later today. So I mean, you guys are really. I mean, I hope you guys are seeing the massive pippage opportunities in front of us. You know, I mean, today, I don't even know. Let me see if I can. Hang on a second. Give me just 1 second. Let me pull up my account. I didn't do too much. I should have done more, but you know, I'm so in love admiring my own work right now that I'm actually not trading as much as I should. Hang on. Let me pull this up. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, come along. Get over here. Sorry, let me just do it. Oh, actually, no, we can do it this way. Hang on. Okay, so here we go. So here's the history, most recent history. You know, as you see, I got clipped yesterday, but look, I just started picking everything up. I don't know what the hell this was. I don't know why I got. Oh, I must have just made an error. But basically, all of these, you know, you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 winners in a row in the overnights. You know, just clipping away, and you know, that's the magic of this thing, is just using this in the most efficient way possible. One unfortunate thing that is, I'm going to ask Daniel, but I'm almost 100% certain that can't be done, is that this beautiful visualization can't be replicated on MT5. On the other hand, what's very cool about trading view is that you can trade directly from the charts if your broker is integrated. Now, those of you who are on 8-cap, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'll say it's possible, because I don't want to speak for them, but I'm almost certain that very, 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 very soon they're going to integrate with TradingView, which means you're going to be able to trade directly from TradingView if you want to, and just kind of bypass the ugliness of MT4, MT5 if you don't want to do that. For FX, it's kind of very attractive to do it, because FX is not exchange based anyways. CAD yen, you want me to take a look at CAD yen, Krasi? You might as well, since you're talking about it. Let's take a look at how that traded. So CAD yen had a big run up into Asia, sort of consolidation, and then look at this. We start. I mean, even if you sort of say, okay, this is a lower red, I don't want to take this move because it's off a lower red. You could be patient and just take this move, and that would have been okay. You would have been, what are you in here? 77 went to 85. I mean, you would have made the 5 points. I mean, remember, it's a 1-minute chart, so we're trading just for 5 points on the move. But here, and this is another thing I was going to say is, yes, so quantitatively this is a little bit of a lower high, but remember, this is where human analysis really comes in a little bit handy. If it doesn't need, if you can actually see that the reality here is that this is just simply range lows, that the actual low is much lower. You have this big move. This is just nothing but range lows. You could have easily confidently taken this trade, right? You could have taken this trade without much ado, because you would have seen that it's a lower lower move. In the meantime, let's just come back to equities for 1 sec, because we're clearly seeing a very strong sell-off. It's where's this? Oh, it's 9:51, so it's about 20 minutes into the move. We're still seeing a strong sell-off. Let me see what the Dow is doing. Dow is also kind of strong sell-off. So everything is negative bias. We need to see a reversal in the move for us to take a look at any possible trades. Russell also, everybody's having a very strong sell-off on the open. A little bit, I guess, profit taking, rejection, all-time highs, having a hard time clearing, blah blah blah. Sorry, Cross. What do you mean exactly? You're saying break the high in EU. This is not possible. What specifically are you referring to? CAD yen? Oh, that the CAD yen breaks the highest level since 2018. And this happened in this, and that he just didn't have enough momentum in EU, and that's why. Oh, okay. All right, explain yourself, because I'm confused. But yeah, but this is the Russell. Russell had all pre-market moves were very strong. Now it's obvious a market reversal coming back down. And that's what's good about this. This also I mean, right now everybody, you may have a fundamental bias where you think, oh, I really want to be long this thing because the news is good. But the beautiful thing about the indicators is telling you there's zero, unless you are a mean reversion trader, unless you think that this you want to be buying bottoms and selling tops, and you think that's your skill in life. There's like literally zero reason to want to buy this right now. It's actually turned quite negative, and we're not gonna turn positive until it turns green for us. Dollar CAD was another trade. That was another great trade. So remember, we're trading dollar CAD to the to the national, to the downside for positive moves, and that was a great positive move over. So, let me rephrase this. Dollar CAD sell is Canadian positive, right? So that's the home team bias. 7 o'clock in the morning. Those signals were quite good, and you can also see, by the way, that sort of like if you just wanted to get a little bit more confirmation that the selling would be a decent entry, is you would see that the highs were really not getting broken, right? Not the high by the prices, but the high by the averages, because the high by the averages are actually more meaningful data set because they camouflage they even out the spikes, and spikes. What we're looking for is high confidence. High confidence comes from multiple samples. Multiple samples is the very definition of average, right? And when we're looking at raw price, sometimes we'll have one big candle spike high, which in and of itself is not meaningful, but we're going to get swayed by that data. So that's I think a really, really cool analytical value of this indicator, is that it smooths out the data set so that you have a true picture of just how strong or weak the particular price move is. So dollar CAD had a big breakout here. I mean, this is what you're seeing here is just a total reversal of the pro risk flows, the positive risk flows that we had at the coming into the market. Lots of profit taking. Let me see if there's any news on the flow. We're really starting to accelerate the downside. Maybe because the GDP missed a little bit. I'm trying to see if there's anything, any particular news here. Equities. Nothing. I don't see any. No, it's just all U.S. GDP stuff like that. As I said to you, by the way, great website, right? Great website for data sets. Just looking for see if there's anything going on here. No, I mean it's all kind of quiet. We're really starting to accelerate the sell. So it may take till like 12 noon or even later for us to see any kind of meaningful reversal that's gonna give us a shot. So we'll have to be patient on this. So any questions? Anything else? Did anybody trade anything? Oh, sorry, Cross. Are you saying not for we can't trade through TradingView? I'm sorry. What do you mean you can't trade through TradingView? I'm confused. You mean if your Europeans can't trading through TradingView? Really? Oh, you mean like you're banned completely? That totally sucks. Is it like some kind of a European rule that they don't allow, even if you're integrated with a broker? Why would they do that? Is that a European rule? Wow. But that's retarded. I mean, what's the difference between TradingView and MT4? You're trading through one or trading through the other. It's just a front end. It's just, oh, fuck. I am really get so frustrated. Third party, what? So stupid. So stupid. It's not even third party. They're getting the feed from the broker. It's one party. All right. Regulators are idiots sometimes. Anyways, it is what it is. The only solution is to have two charts side by side, I guess. I was just thinking how stupid it is in the U.S. that we can't trade CFDs, because like zero difference between them and. So here's the other thing, I was going to say to you, looking at equities here. Apple is a big part of the Dow. Apple has obviously, had strong performance. You see the Dow kind of, holding bid a little bit better than NAS, even though NAS is up more for the day, but like the price action of Dow is a little bit more positive. So we should keep an eye on this. Like if it starts turning green, it'll be a better trade maybe. But honestly, it's just like, nothing much going on here. Oh, and the euro gave back all of the moves too. I was trading the euro, had a nice big move, and then it just completely gave it all back. Just gave it all back. Oh, so when you want to trade the other way, right? You want to, let's say, your positive dollars, U.S. yields starting to go up. Let's say you want to trade, you're trading the fund of flow. You see U.S. yields starting to go. You're kind of doing the Kathy trade. You're putting together, fundamental information. How can our tool improve on this fundamental entry? So let's say somewhere around here, the yields start to really creep up. Yen, U.S. data comes out, GDP is pretty strong, claims are pretty good. It's all positive U.S. economy, but you really don't have a clear indication that of a sell-off here, because these are equidistant. This is the first signal over here where you have a lower high, right? So if you come in over here at this level, it's not, it's late, but it's a lot more confirmed. And so here you have a higher chance of whatever making that 5 points. I mean, so there's actually 10 points here of a move very quickly. The point being is that yes, you're gonna enter at a worse price. The more you wait for a confirmation, but you're gonna have a higher confidence of execution. And if you're trading with a small target, then your chance of success becomes even that much better. Like you see the euro now finally starting to break down, dollar starting to get stronger across the board, right? And it's actually the whole anti-risk trade right here. It feels like they brought everything up in the pre-market, and now they're kind of trying to sell it all off on the trade. So I want to start kind of integrating all of these ideas and letting us go cross asset, where we can start trading FX and indices, and maybe, I mean, I'm not a trader of Bitcoin or gold, but it's worth looking at it. I mean, gold just fell off a cliff here. So this is kind of interesting. So, this is gold on a 1 minute chart, right? Totally fallen off a cliff from about, wow, $20. What the fuck? Why did gold fall so hard? That's really unusual. So, it just really dropped like a stone. And here, I mean, again, we have to be very patient. But if gold goes kind of into the green zone and it starts to fail into the red zone down the line later in the day, that's also going to give us a pretty decent short entry, because if it fails somewhere around here, it's clearly going to be a much lower high, against the move. So there's the chance of continuation is pretty strong. Gold has actually been is dropping all the way through. It's interesting. If you were looking here, if you started looking at around 2 o'clock in the morning, you started to see weakness, right? A very, very anemic strength, secondary weakness. You could have really had a very good, gold today is a very good continuation trade. Every continuation trade, up or down, follows this classic pattern, right? And it's really our job just to find those patterns first of all and trade them as much as possible. Now, it doesn't mean that every time this pattern is going to work, because this pattern can completely convert itself into a reversal, right? As I said, every continuation trade has this pattern. Every reversal trade is going to have the opposite pattern, the other way around. So you have to have some confidence that the continuation trade is a dominant trade in that particular asset that particular day. But if you have that confidence and you're finding that pattern, you have almost a guaranteed profit in the move, because you're on the right side at the right time. That's really the key. You're on the right side of the trade at the right time, which is kind of really cool. What's is the Dow coming back? No, nothing is coming back. Wow. Dow is just, I thought it would slow down. It's not. Everything is very, very weak. Like everything is, just down, and these are all guess the bottom trades. You can try to buy this as guess the bottom trades, but these are not trades with any edge. They're just pure guess trades. So I will pass them up, as I am now so much older and wiser and more Zen-like. You know what else I wanted to look at? I haven't even looked at the high volatility pairs, but it's interesting to see the, wow, look at this move, Jesus. Now that is a true V-shaped reversal, right? Really, really monstrous. And you wouldn't have had any really genuinely, well, you would have had like long signals here, I guess. I'm trying to see like where you would be on this thing. Now, I guess, so this is a higher low. You could have taken this signal and would have run up. One very important thing when you're kind of analyzing these trades, as I said, is look at the context. And if you are sort of finding yourself entering at the third or the fourth highest high, highest high of the lows, if you're entering yourself somewhere there, be wary that you're coming closer to the end of the beginning. What you want is like the first clear higher low, or the first clear lower high as your entry points, because that's always going to be much easier to handicap. Same thing on the Kiwi. What about pound Swiss? Pound Swiss should have been very strong because the pound, oh no, am I wrong? Oh, the pound, first it was strong and then it kind of died. $16 to $24, not much. But again, we're only looking for 5 points. Looking for 5 points in high probability entries, just clipping. Here, look how cleanly this reverses. So you have a story of pound Swiss strengthening because the euro was weak. Then the euro actually got stronger. You had reversal flows. So now you have a clear lower low, shorting over here, super easy the other way around, right? Just keeping an eye on where the possibilities lie. So what's happening now? It's actually interesting. So we could have taken this trade here. It's 20. It was at 27.02 for 5 points. Now a little bit late. If there's a secondary red green formation, it might be worthwhile to go. That would be the third bottom, but that's okay. You want to start with the second bottom. You don't really want to go beyond the fourth bottom, right? That's the maximum you want to allow yourself on the move here. Let's see how's the euro trading. Euro had a clean sell here, right over here, and was at 12, went all the way down to 01, so that was like 10 points. Pound has a sell that sort of like really didn't, it's 43, the low here was 37. Maybe would have made 5 points. I don't have, I wouldn't, trying to see if at this point, I wouldn't love to short this, but I don't think it'd be a horrible short because I still think the pound has more downside to go. But there isn't really, there isn't much going on right now, so it's a complete guess on that end of it. How's the yen? Yen obviously was very, very strong. Now the yen is kind of dying out. So the big question is where the yields. If we start to correct a little bit, so we have a little bit of a green zone, and then if we can't push up a little bit higher, if the green zone is going to be lower, the yen can then just unwind to 108.80 as you get a little bit more risk off flows. We're just looking from a longer perspective. What was the story on the yen today? The story on the yen was clearly to the upside, and now we're starting to get a little bit tired, right? The price action is starting to get a little bit tired, and we have to see now. If it makes fresh highs, it's a completely different story. But if it kind of dies out here, makes a lower green, and then it starts coming back down into a red sell signal, that would be a pretty decent signal to get short. We're clearly dying out a little bit around the 109s. Nothing on NAS is really just completely reversing the whole move, the run up to the market, right? Literally reversing. This is all of Asia trade. Look at this, guys. We're actually below Asia session opens. So that's interesting. Dow is not. It's holding up a little bit better off the Asia session lows, but still pretty negative. But not much going on here. Worse than Trump tweets? You mean like the price action today? It's just really boring. Not really. I think the market again is just it's waiting for Amazon. I feel like earnings week is a really bad week for the market, because what they're trying to do is just create a consensus view about the whole economy. So every positive single company news is positive for a little bit, and then it just kind of dies out because they're waiting for the next one. And now, they're waiting for Amazon, which is the last big of the FANGs to report. If they blow out, then maybe you get a consensus view that we get further upside in the market. I actually feel like earnings is much worse for the overall market than just regular trading. NAS is turning around. Like we kind of made a little bit of a bottom. This is just complete gambling. But I really like this candle if you can see it, to the bottom. And I would be long on a spec here at 60. Let's just, for argument's sake, let's get long 60. But you have to literally hold it against the 30 stop. So it's like a very, very, you have to give yourself a lot. Like basically, I'm betting that this is the bottom, and I think it looks like it's gonna turn. So I think it has a chance here to go to 70 over the next half hour or so of the price action. But I'm basically only basing this on the fact that they really bought the bottom here hard, and now they're going to try to consolidate it and maybe begin to run it. So I do think there's a chance here from 60 to 70. This will be like my one spec trade of the day, because I don't have any setups today with you guys. So we'll see how it trades out. Okay. So chopping, which it always does, may come in to kind of retest the lows. But again, the reason I'm just making this call right now is because as I'm looking at the price action, we've had all this sell off. We haven't really had any further downside price action. And generally the markets always pause, retrace, resume, and as part of their tap dance. And we're close now to 10:13. So we're half hour. Most of the opening order flow has been absorbed, and now it's a question whether they can just try to turn it around a little bit. Same pattern, I think. Actually, same pattern on the Dow. Let's see what the Dow is at. Dow is even a little bit better. So let's play the Dow also. 80.0706. We're long here, but again, here you have to be like 783 as a stop. So 80.07. So maybe 820. Trying to see if we get up to 820 on this. And maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Getting sold off. Yeah, Dow is just getting hammered here. Underneath, holding the Dow totally screwed me. So if it starts breaking this area here in the 80, it's definitely like right over here, 3377.80. And it's through. And we got blown out. So that's not working. Yeah. It was just a pause, no turn. This is why I don't like trading turns, because they just, as I said to you, they're always guesses. I was just bored because we had nothing else to do today. And generally, by the way, like notice how they flush it and now they're going to take it right back. Like, buying the 80 would have been a great trade. The NAS is still kind of holding underneath its lows, and fighting hard. So this trade may actually survive a little bit. We'll have to see. Generally, like I don't, again, not my trade, and not one I really like trading, but if you're trading mean reversion, if you're trading kind of like, you want to buy the bottom, sell the tops, what I have found in terms of giving myself the better chance is you have to step into the sell-off, not buy into the rebound. Because it's like, if you had bought the 80s on the Dow, yes, if it's a one-way trade, you're still going to get plowed under. But if it is indeed kind of like near the bottoms, if you buy support, you give yourself that 20 point support on the Dow, 10-point support on the NAS, and you could just survive any of the final selling spasms. Like the whole point is, if you're buying mean reversion, you have to buy as close as possible to your stop, simply because that's your best chance of, if it can just rebound a little bit and you'll still make money. But because trying to trade the turn on a momentum move is very, very tough in a mean reversion trade. Once it breaks out, then momentum dominates, right? Once it goes to the upside, momentum dominates. Right now, the momentum that dominates is actually the sell momentum, and you're trying to get buy momentum within a broader sell momentum wave, and that's always so much harder to do. So like if you're in a sell wave, you just kind of try to buy the bottoms. That's not like it's going to give you great entries. But what it's going to do is it's going to give you minimal entries. And now everything is breaking down. So nothing. There was no turns. So it's probably going to be another couple of hours before the market stabilizes and begins to turn the trade. Now, and I'll let you guys know how to turn trades go, because those are the only trades that we have that are really legitimate as far as setup go. Today, trying to buy the bottom is a futile effort. It's actually a great example of why buying bottoms or buying catching knives is so stupid. You are fighting two forces against you, and you're naturally putting yourself at a massive disadvantage, by doing that. So unfortunately, I got no real intelligent trades for you guys today, but I do have the indicator, which is 10 times better because you can find trades with it all day long. We might as well just simply review what's going on in the currency market, see if we got any potential ideas here. You're kind of consolidating. There's no upside trades here. Cable, remember I said to you, cable was a good trade around here, and it still is. Look how well that worked. That was actually a good trade with the momentum on our side. So that worked. Euro yen right now is breaking down, but off of a higher break, so not anything really clear to us. Same thing with pound yen, not really a clear break to the downside yet. Aussie had a big distribution. It's very, very, very oversold now. Clearly negative risk trade at this point. So nothing, we have to wait here to see when we get turned around if there's anything going on here. And dollar CAD was straight up trade, right? So that really turned itself around, but that was a trade at the beginning of the session. So kind of nothing. There's no potential trades right now. I'm just trying to see if there's anything here. Yeah, dollar yen. So dollar yen, as I said, dollar yen is exhausting itself over here. But what you really want to see is it come back up and come back down at a lower level. And if it hasn't been able to do that, you don't have as much of an edge. Although the fact that it's that it's breaking after a very, very, very long uptrend, like this is the third or the fourth higher low, gives you a little bit more confidence that you could have sold this. 1, 2, 3. You see it's a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 higher lows. So the break here is a little bit more acceptable. But generally, you really want it to be the low. Another. You would like to see up and then a second break in order for you to get a lot more confident that's going to work for you. So, anyways, guys, sorry, kind of a boring session today, but it's been the story this week like this. We will start to weave in a lot more FX, and what I'm going to start doing is maybe comment on the European Open on FX with you guys to give you a better feel of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. You got long euro dollar on the 1 minute chart. Let me check on my. Hang on a second. No. Huh. No, it's really what time frame? Is that a 1 minute? This 1 minute chart time frame? No. No, that's a strange. It looks like it's your broker feed. Which broker are you using, Peter? Really? Because I'm using Oanda, and I don't have any. This is Oanda over here, and as you can see, there's absolutely no there's no upside here at all. This is Oanda. There's not even. It didn't even make a positive. Are you sure you have the right moving averages? Doesn't look like you have the right moving averages. That may be it. It doesn't matter whether it's MT5. Oh wait, shut up on your MT4 as well. You guys. So are you guys saying you're getting a signal like somewhere around here to the upside? Karen, is that what you're saying? Let's do euro dollar. Huh. You guys are right. You're right. On the euro dollar, on the MT5, it shows this. That's interesting. It must be. So what is this? Let me see this euro dollar spreads. Yeah, that's what. Unfortunately, this is full spread. So this is full spread. And this is nothing you can do because it all depends on what kind of spread, spread you have. I have what's called raw spreads, which are very, very tight. And I would, honestly, and that's why you're looking at TradingView. So honestly, if you have doubts, look at TradingView as your mark, because it's just a matter of spreads. The spreads there were, although on this one also shows it on this one too. Huh. It didn't show on my raw spreads, but I guess this shows this is the full spread version. And that's just a function of the spreads. But be that as it may, like if we were to take this seriously, which is fine, then you could say, okay, if this turns and we get the next green trade, then it'd be worth taking a shot here, because you would have a higher low. So we could turn this into a possible trade. Well, that's Peter, as I was saying, the EA will take every trade. The EA takes trade blindly, right? They take trade blindly. So the EA is not designed to. If any EA you use is always going to take blind trades, and your job is to either turn the EA off, turn it on when you want it to trade, or to have it trade just once. And by the way, I actually, I forgot to tell you, I do have the one trade version ready. So overnight, I'm going to prepare it for you guys. So tomorrow, you guys can download the betas. And that makes it a lot easier, because what the EA does, it'll take one trade and then just turn itself off, so you don't have to, you don't have to worry about it continuously taking trades. But EA, by its very nature, is always going to take every possible trade you have. It will take this trade. It will take this trade. It will take this trade. Yeah, and it's always going to be great when you find yourself in the right regime. That's the key thing. The EA always works super well in the right regime. And the art here is to turn it on, turn it off, turn it on for the right regime and turn it off for the wrong regime. That's really it. That's basically it. So actually, this is turning, right? This is turning. If this kind of holds and we get a secondary move back up, this would be a legitimate, euro buy for, 5-point target, because we would have a higher low here. So, we could watch this for a second. And while it's doing it, I was going to just show you, like, my whole point about if you're gonna buy the falling knife, you buy it as far away from the moving average envelope as possible. So, like, when they're selling it hard, and it's really, really far away, that's where you want to be buying it. You want to be buying it at 25 when it looks. To buy a reversal trade, you have to buy it at what it looks like the worst possible time, when there's maximum selling pressure, or to fade it, to sell it when there's maximum buying pressure. Otherwise, it's just not worth it, because if you try to chase it over here on the turn, you're not going to get it. It's always going to be a failure. And so if you try to trade the upside move, you have to wait on a turn base. You have to wait till it turns green and actually gives you a good signal. Kind of like turning the whole around. The Bollinger Bands are just a derivative of this, and they're just distracting. To me, what I love about this indicator is it's completely not distracting. There's nothing that any other indicator will add to this chart. Nothing. It will just clutter it up with information that you can already see if you know what you're looking for, or you can execute if you know how to execute it. So the fact that the Bollinger Band is going to be over here means nothing. You can easily eyeball it and say it's pulled away from the moving averages. It hasn't touched the band, and it's closing far away from the band. That's as good a place as any I can buy it. hasn't touched the band, as far away from the band as possible. It's as good a place I can buy it. That's all it is. So that's why I'm trying to keep it as uncluttered as possible on the site. What's going on with the euro? Is it coming back up? Oh, euro may be breaking out. It may be setting up for a breakout. So could be worthwhile to set up the euro trade here to the long side. And you see this is what I call combo trade 1. It's hard for you guys to see because I can't make this any bigger because it's actually going off of a different computer. But the beauty of that particular thing is it'll just trade once and just turn itself off. So you don't have to worry about the EA taking multiple trades. Karen, what are you doing with yourself today? Trading anything? So actually, you know what I want to see? Where's my thing? Just again, keeping count because we're just gathering data. But so what do I have here? Oh, this must be old. This must be the old one. Hang on, let me just refresh this. Yeah. Come on. God, it's so annoying. All these pop-ups. Come on. Okay. So what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 20. 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 40. And 9 out of 50, basically. So 9 out of 50. I'm just doing a rough count here. That's a 41 divided by 50, about 82%. Okay. So at 520, which is way too big, we agreed with it. We need to be 525, 515. At 515, it's a 75% break even to an 82% trade with 50 trades in, which is pretty good, which is really, really pretty good. And just to kind of reaffirm that any winning trade does not really go more than where's the drawdown? Why is it drawdown? It doesn't make any sense. Drawdown 20 pips. This is a $5 win. What is going on here? 29 pips. This is, where's the drawdown on this? 3-2, 6-6, 5-3. These are all losers, obviously. This one has 0.5 pips. This has 10 pips. So you really see that the most you're going to lose four pips, 2, 3 pips. This is, why is this? Wait, hold on. That's weird. Why is that giving me 22 pips when I have a stop on this thing? Open price 97. Huh. 27, 28. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. I'm confused as to why some of the winning trades are giving me erroneous data, but it must be something. It could, and I noticed that it's always on the short side, so maybe it's not properly calculating the drawdown on the short side. But you see that on the long side, it's very clear that the worst you're going to do is 10 pips, which means that if you do 515, which is a 75% break even, and you're at 82% accuracy, you're already doing very well. Oh yeah, so that's actually yeah, is the candle, the rushing trades before candle close is the #1 nemesis of me. Why don't you just use the applet to and choose candle close as the choice. That way it will not enter until it closes. Peter, that's actually, you know, that's a good idea to run the EA on a demo, and then you know, use the live account to select it, because you know what the EA does is it kind of just shows you all the possible trades, and then you want to select the really good ones. You know, that's not a bad idea. Anyways, I do have my Eurodollar configured to the upside, but I will turn it off if it starts to break back down, because it hasn't really shown a hasn't, you know, like, so if it takes out the highs here, then we have a real trade, and you know, we may have a chance to get up. But right now, basically all you see is FX and indices trying to find some kind of a tradable bottom on this risk trade, which got completely unwound. We still have yet to find a bottom on the risk off trade. It still continues to just you know, die off here very badly. You can see that we can't even clear the upper end of the moving average envelope here this way. All right, Euro may be popping up. We'll see if I can get a trade off of this one. Where's the yen? Yen's just kind of quiet. Where's the Dow? There's like literally there's nothing to do here, guys. We have to be super patient. When it turns, it turns. Until it turns, there's just nothing to do here, because you know, right now this is a 50-50 chance that it's either can go further down or do a nice V-shaped reversal, and those are the worst kind of trades, because you're just either going to be lucky or destroyed. And you know, I don't really want to be in a position to, you know, to put myself into luck's embrace. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out with me. Sorry for such a boring session today, but there's much deeper value, I think, in the possibilities that we can have out of this whole thing. And I'm going to work with Daniel, Karen, on getting the trend break idea out. So we'll try to get that as well. All right. So thank you so much, guys. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'll see everybody for Friday. Maybe we'll get a little bit of action tomorrow. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.